What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the You Know Ball podcast. This episode is the first episode that we are unlocking from the You Know Ball Patreon. We recorded this episode about 3 weeks ago, so some things have changed in the NBA since then. We recorded this before the Udoka scandal, before Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole in the face, so please keep those things in mind. But on this episode, me and Sam Sheehan tried to predict what Bill Simmons and Ryen Russillo would say on their over-under podcast. And famously, we got a few things right. Of course, we got a lot of things wrong because there were a ton of guesses. But Bill and Russillo released their podcast this week, so I figured I would unlock this episode that we recorded on September 22nd. So this was 3 weeks ago. So if you don't believe us, you can go check it out on the You Know Ball Patreon. So you can sign up, get extra content every week, get early episodes, all of that stuff. Just released my predictions for the Eastern and Western Conference, the NBA Finals. You can check out all of that stuff. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, all of that. I really, really appreciate it. Also just launched a second YouTube channel, the Trill Bro Dude YKB page. So please check that out as well on my page and in the description. So enjoy this episode. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks.
Trill and I are going to try to correctly, before Simmons and Russillo drop their pod. They're probably going to split it up into East and West. We're going to just do them all now. But we're going to try and guess what they think for the over-unders, and then we can offer our own. You think that works, Trill? Also,
yeah.
Over-under. Yeah, okay. So we also, playing by the Simmons rules, I think we should have 5 locks, including trying to guess Simmons and Russillo's locks for the over or under. Something to keep in mind for our locks. I'll be keeping track of this. So I'll get it started. We're going to do alphabetical order like I think they do. So we're starting with Atlanta at 45.5. So I'll go first on this one. I think Bill is going to be riding the under. I think he started out good on the Dejounte Murray thing, but he's kind of talking himself out of it in recent weeks. And I think Russillo will be doing the same. So I will also give Russillo an under.
Yes, I agree with that. Also, I respect the fact that you're sticking with the bit and still calling him Dejounte Murray. But
Dejounte Murray.
But I think that Bill does this every year where Bill is gonna be. He even had a segment for this last year. Yeah. Guys we don't know what to do with, like like flip-flop guys. Mm-hmm. He's going to flip-flop. He's going to seesaw on Trae throughout his whole career, depending on how good Trae's team is that year. Because I think one of the things that, that Atlanta team was not the most talented. Obviously, I think over time they've proven that they're it was a little bit of a fluke run, and they ran into a fraudulent team in the Sixers and got to the conference finals. But he's going to go back and forth on him. And I think that this team will be better than last year's team. But I definitely think that he'll use the same isms he always uses for Trae.
Yeah.
Always the same thing. Do you really want to be can he do anything off the ball? Right. He doesn't defend at all. Yeah.
Russillo, they took our guy, Kevin Huerter. I'm nervous. Who's shooting the ball for this team? Bogdanovich? No. I mean, look, if we're going to talk about Trae Young, and we're going to talk about, what they're doing, I'd like to see a little bit more on Dejounte Murray. This is my Russillo. You know what? I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to actually take the slide over personally myself for the.
So that was 46.5.
45.5.
45.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get into my pick here, another thing. So they'll definitely talk about Huerter. They'll definitely talk about losing Huerter, and they'll be like, I wanted the Celtics to get him. I really, really wanted the Celtics to get him. I really like Huerter.
Yeah, that's a lock. I almost want to lock the
100% lock. Another lock on here is going to be, I guarantee you they will bring up the fact that John Collins is always on the trade block.
Yes.
Do they even want him? Does he want to be there? Is he happy? I know he was hanging out with them over the summer, but this guy's, he's kind of like Harrison Barnes. He's kind of like Miles Turner. He's like one of those guys that Brook Lopez is the guy that he always uses that's Zach Lowe uses that. Brook Lopez, when he was at the Nets, he's always on the trade block.
Yeah. No, Bill will ask Russillo, what do you think of John Collins? Are you aching for more John Collins in your life? Russillo will flatly be like, I'm good.
And then I could go either way.
about like an agent he has to talk to and be like, I mean, like, look, he's a great guy. He's someone who's done a lot. You know, he'll walk it back, but like
he earned that contract. You can't take that away from him.
Right. Yeah, exactly. He'll walk it back at some point. But
for sure.
But for myself personally, I kind of like this. It's a little low for the Hawks. I mean, I think they'll be bad in the playoffs, but I think they could get to 46 wins.
What was their record last year? That's important for context here. I need to know what their record
was. I think it was like 41 or something like that. Let me get this from real quick. This is great radio.
For the record, this would be a stay away for me. Like if we were doing like what they do, like I think it's close enough that it could go either way.
So they won 40. They were 43-39 last year.
Yeah,
so
they're going over. That's an over.
Yeah, I agree. Slight over. I would not actually lay money on this, but
I wouldn't put money on it because I don't gamble. But if I did gamble, I would stay away because so I would say that the fact that if Trey's healthy is the most important thing, obviously. Top 5 guy offensively, top 6 guy offensively. And then I think their defense is just going to be a lot better. It's always going to be bad because of Trey, but it was really bad last year. Capella missed a lot of time. I think between having a Congo and Capella always in, Congo getting a little bit better. They replaced Kevin. They lost Kevin Huerter, so they'll be a little worse offensively. But defensively, basically every position around Trey is a pretty good defender except for Bogdanovich right now. So, like, Justin Holiday's a good defender. John Collins has become a good defender. Hunter, Murray. Like, I think that Trey plus a really good defense is going to get you like 48, 49 regular season.
I'm not going to lie. Most of this is just me kind of believing in a Kongwu, like mostly just to stay healthy. You know what
He's really good. Yeah.
I think he'll be pretty. So now this is one of the hardest ones for me just in terms of guessing what Bill and Russillo are going to do. The beautiful Boston Celtics. At 55.5. Sorry, my phone just fell over there real quick. The beautiful Boston Celtics at 55.5.
That's really high.
It's really high, right?
Yeah.
So they were 51-31 last year. As you might know, they were 2 games under 500 in January. So they finished on like a 65 win pace or something like that. So, full year Derek White, full year of Malcolm Brogdon. Probably not going to get the same health from Al Horford and Rob Williams. I don't know what to do with this one because Bill and Russillo like kind of fucking hate the Celtics, but also I could see them kind of wanting to like they hate that Marcus Smart is on this team so fucking much. They really fucking hate it. Like,
they've come around on him, you know?
No. They're going. This is my prediction. We're gonna get into this. It'll be like, the Marcus Smart thing, it worked out, heat of the moment. Everybody was turning about. Do we think he can keep the locker room for one more year? Jalen's getting paid next year. I mean, yeah, nobody knows what Jalen's doing next year. I mean, this is Tatum's team. Like, is he going to be okay with that? You know, like there's going to be shit like that. So I had no idea what to do with this. I will let you go first on this one. I think we can alternate. Do you think over or under for?
So it's hard for me to say because I do think that if they were healthy, this would be a clear over for me. I thought that if I felt like I could trust their health, even losing Gallo, like it doesn't seem like a big deal, but in the regular season, I think he would have been a useful player. Like I think that he would have been a fine 9th man or whatever you wanted. So we're talking regular season wins. I still think that like when healthy, they have the best 1 through 8 in the NBA, but I also think that they're going to be careful. Like, I don't think they're going to be pushing for 60 wins because they saw what the last half of last year did to them when they were going fucking ham. And you have the Rob question mark. You have Horford's age. I'm going to go under slightly. I think they're going to win like 53, 54 wins. Like, I think that I still think they're going to be, because I think there are going to be a lot of teams that have a lot of wins in the Eastern Conference. I still think they're going to be like the 2 or the 3 seed. I just think that between the depth issues and because they don't think that they're not going all in. They know the importance of keeping yourself fresh for the playoffs now. The Rob thing scares me. I'm going to go slightly under, but like not like I don't feel great about it.
Right. Okay. I will take the over just because I'll get yelled at if I do. I would say Simmons under, Russillo over.
I think I agree with that because I think that Bill's pivoting back to his little Celtics pessimism that he likes to do. even though it's going to be really hard because he's fighting with his own contradictions here. They have finals experience now. They finally got over the hump, even though they were like one of the youngest teams in the NBA to make multiple conference finals. Like he will have a little bit of conflict here, but I think he'll ultimately choose the under.
No, what I think will happen, I can almost see how this is going to go. Simmons is going to lay out why he's pessimistic. Rob's health, Al Horford, and everything, and then he'll sort it over Russillo, and Russillo will go over, and he'll go, oh, oh. I love it when we disagree.
I love it when we disagree and you say the Celtics are going to be really good. I still think defensively the Celtics are going to be awesome, but Rob is very, very important to that defense. So
yeah, and Al, Al's season last year was such a fucking outlier.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing Sam Presti has ever done in his miserable, horrid little life. Keep fresh for us. Okay, moving along. Brooklyn, 51.5. This one is extremely easy for me with Simmons. Simmons will be taking the under here.
100%.
I think I'm going to lock that one, actually.
Yeah, that's a lock.
5 locks. You agree with me? Okay.
Because this is the perfect storm for all of Bill's little things.
Yeah. No, Bill is going to say, I just don't think that they're going to, it's going to be a weird year. Like, he's going to be effusive in his praise for KD, but is, again, going to pin it on Kyrie that it's not really his fault. I kind of think Russillo will take the over here, to be honest, though.
So do I. Yeah. Look, they still have, when healthy, they still have Kevin Durant. They still have Kyrie when I know the Kyrie thing's complicated, man. You never know if he's going to be here, if he's going to be in Tibet, if he's going to be somewhere in Nepal. You never know where Kyrie's going to be. But when that guy's on a basketball court in the regular season, especially, he's a really good important player. Yeah. Same with Ben Simmons.
I had a tough time with it. I feel and I just couldn't get past the talent. But now that I'm done making fun of Russillo for taking the over, I also will be taking the over. So that's 3 overs in a row for me on that. But I do think that they will. But that is pretty high, though, man. What did they win last year? Just to refresh myself, 44-38. Actually, you know what? I am going to take the under. I'm backing off.
I'm taking the under here, not due to the fact that I don't think that they're really talented, not due to that. The fact is, KD doesn't stay healthy, and I think that Brooklyn's variance is very high. We could easily be sitting here and they could be the 1 seed, and they could be I think their team's really good, but I'm literally saying the same exact thing I made fun of Russillo for here.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But at the same time, the downside of Brooklyn is in the play-in, KD still gets traded halfway through the season because it's such a fucking nightmare. Everyone hates Ben Simmons because people don't seem to hate Kyrie as much, even though for some reason. But I could see it going very, very poorly in Brooklyn, and I'm gonna take the slight under just because I feel like there's talent-wise, you could argue this is if everyone's healthy and normal brained is an almost 60-win team. Right. I think that's a really, really good regular season team. Yeah. But I just think there's too many question marks. I'll take the slight under.
Yeah, no, that's probably. I was thinking about it, and then I was like, damn, 52 wins though. And I just think the East is.
Yeah. East is really good. I think that they'll be in a similar tier to Atlanta, even though I would like Brooklyn more in the playoffs if they can get there in one piece.
Right. Exactly. This one is pretty easy for me on all counts. Charlotte 36.5. I'm taking unders across the
board. Under.
I think Simmons will be
under.
That's
a lock for me, dude.
Yeah. This is kind of a weird line. Do they think Miles Bridges will play this year? I just don't.
Hopefully not. Hopefully she'll be in fucking jail. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. So yeah, that's just a bummer. I don't really want to talk about Charlotte. They're kind of one of the biggest bummers in the NBA. And
I don't think anyone's really going to have a lot to say about them other than we feel bad for LaMelo.
Yeah,
they won't because they're them.
I went Bill mode there. I said Lonzo. Yikes.
LiAngelo actually is going to.
Yeah. President G. This man committed crimes against you. We will send you back. This is all-star LaMelo Ball. He didn't. Oh, sorry. So next up, we have Chicago. 42.5. Pretty good line.
It feels exactly right to me almost.
I was gonna say pretty good line. Boy, I don't really know what to do with that. This one almost certainly depends on Lonzo. You figure DeMar is going to come back down to earth a little
bit, but he's still been a very good regular season player for like a decade.
Maybe Zach LaVine continues to get better, like another year of Ayo Dosunmu, kind of coming along. Maybe Patrick Williams, who is, a CIA false flag operation. Maybe they'll hire a guy to pretend he's Patrick Williams this year, so everyone can see him. Look real.
I don't know what Patrick Williams even looks like. I only thing I know about him is that he kind of mopes around. He always looks sad.
I feel like he was one of these rookies that made it in the top 100 list. That it was like very funny.
Oh yeah, he was the he was the sexy upside pick, right?
Yeah. There's just like, I think everyone expected him to like kind of be like what Scotty Barnes is now, and
yes, that's a good comp, something like that.
Yeah. So, boy, I don't know. I think Simmons. I could see Simmons being in on this, to be honest. I think Simmons is going to zag here and go over.
Okay.
And I think Russillo will be under here.
I think I'm going to go under too. I actually low key, and I'm going to save this for another episode of my long rant, but I actually low key think that Chicago has very high disaster potential this season.
Yeah. They do clearly. They've got just so many. The Lonzo thing is bad. Like the Vooch thing is bad. They just overperformed so crazy last year. I know they were hurt like in the playoffs and everything like that.
And also like Zach is always injured. Like that, no one really talks about it because he plays injured a lot. But Zach is always injured, and then you're basically putting all of your chips on DeMar and development from a team that never develops young guys.
Yeah. I'm going to take the slight over just because 43 games is not that. And I do think that they're like, I do think that they're in enough of a different tier from some of the bottom of the East, like New York. Like they're clearly better than like New York, and like even with Orlando being better, I still think they're better than like Orlando and some of the teams.
Charlotte
for sure. Yeah. So I'm gonna believe in the Bulls a little bit. Are you in agreement with me on the Simmons over and Russillo under? Or?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds about right to me.
Next one, Cleveland. Okay, this is another Simmons lock. So the Cleveland line is 47.5. Bill is going to be hammering the over. Lock it
100%.
Bill is creaming himself over this Cavs team.
What am I missing here? We got Donovan Mitchell. We got Darius Garland. We got Evan Mobley, who's one of the best rookies that we've seen in a while last year. And then you have Jared Allen, who made the All-Star team. What am I missing?
I like this team. Like, what does this team have that the Brooklyn Nets don't? Like, why that line higher? Like, he's gonna compare them to the Nets.
100%.
Yeah, like,
except their guys actually play and they want to be there.
Yeah, I think Russillo will follow suit. And I actually will follow suit with you over there too.
Same here. That seems very low for me for a team that could have 4 All-Stars on it.
Yeah, the 4 All-Stars on the right. Like I know that there is a problem with God. I can't even Isaac Okoro, but like I think you can figure it out, man. Like I know it's hard to
one spot. There's a lot of margin for error there.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. Okay, another fun one. The Dallas Mavericks, 48.5.
I'm going under.
I think I'm with you. I think I agree with you that that's an under. That Jalen Brunson thing hurts, man. And Luka's a wizard, but
after you just said he's a total Luka merchant.
He is a Luka merchant, but
he was good on the Mavs.
At being a Luka merchant.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so he kind of helps him with that. But I think Russillo and Simmons are both going to take the under here as well.
I think so, but I feel like there's part of me that says Bill says he never won. You just never want to bet against Luka, man. Like you just never like.
Yeah, that's true.
He might be in the top 3. Oh shit, I don't want to bet against these guys.
Luka, we got to consider here, Russillo. Luka's coming into the season in shape. That's never happened before. I saw him in those games. You watch some of those games? He's a guy who gives a shit now. And that's the guys I want. I want guys who give a shit. Like that's gonna happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had an 86 bird season.
No, you know what? You've talked me into it. Bill will go over here. I think Russillo will be under though.
Yes.
Okay. I think Russillo a little sharper. Okay, another interesting.
Yeah, but Russillo's, when you listen to these podcasts, Russillo's definitely more tuned in with like what the teams actually did.
Yeah,
and like, Bill's like, wait, what? Kevin Huerter's on the Kings?
Yeah, as much as I love giving Russillo shit for like the caring about things too much, like he generally is like a pretty, he's like a pretty solid NBA analyst.
He's invested. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's usually got like a pretty, like Bill will just say something insane off the wall, and like you'll hear Russillo being like, "Oh fuck."
Now the only reason that Russillo is funny when it comes to this stuff is because of he just like encapsulates Gen's X in a way.
Oh yeah, perfect. That's a perfect description. That's exactly what it is.
It's like the guy who works really hard and needs everyone to know that he works hard, but deep down that he's like self-loathing. Mm-hmm. And like whereas like boomers are just like, we work hard and we're better than you. Gen X has got a little bit of that, like, I like still will like cry alone and listen to Nirvana type shit.
Yeah, right. Eddie Vedder gets me, man. Like, well, and it's Bill. Is Bill a boomer or Gen X?
He's Gen X, I believe. That's why Pearl Jam is the.
Yeah, I was gonna say that makes so much sense.
Yeah, Russillo's definitely a little younger. Then he's definitely like firmly in the middle of like Gen X, probably like directly in the middle.
By the way, I didn't bring this up, but going back, I'm locking my Charlotte under. I'm not sure if you.
That's number one lock. I would say that. I would be shocked if they won more than if they do. It's because LaMelo becomes a top 10 player.
Yeah, I agree. So I think we lock those in. Okay, so another fun one. Denver 50.5.
I'm going over.
Hyper competitive West.
I'm going over. I'm actually that might be one of my locks.
Really? Okay. All right. I'll put you down.
How many games did they win last year?
So they won
with just Jokic, basically.
With just Jokic, they won 48 games. That's more than I thought, to be
honest. If Jokic doesn't get hurt, Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. will play in some capacity. Yeah. They got better with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They got better with Bruce Brown. I don't love their draft once again, but the kind of guys they're putting around Jokic. The only big question mark I have for them is the backup center position. I think Bones Highland's going to get better. I think they're going to win like 55 games.
You've talked me into it. I probably will not be locking the way
that will be my lock. Yes, that will be.
I will also take the over. I think both Bill and Ryan will be over here as well. A
lot of Jokic praise, a lot of
very effusive in their praise. We get a fun one for us, Trill. This might be the one that gets us killed.
All right, hold on 1 second. Bones Highland, Black Poku. I just needed to say that classic Ryan Russillo line.
Let's go. So this is the one that's going to get us in trouble. Detroit 28.5.
So
Detroit, I've been rude to Cade. I
yes.
want you to hear this when I'm saying this. I'm going with the over.
I think they're going to hit the over on that too. I like a lot of their young guys. Look, I think the Cade hype is a bit too much. The Cade praise top 5, top 10 player. He's very good, and he will be better than he was for large majority of last year. I like a lot, defensively, I think they're going to be really good. They can switch. They can play drop. They can do multiple things. I think Duren's going to have an impact from the jump. I think Ivy will take a little bit of time. Bay's good. Bay's good. I would say, I think they're going to win 30 to 35 games almost.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So by the way, I'm making this one of my overlocks too for both Bill and Russillo.
100%. They love Cade.
They are both going to have a Cade fucking cream.
Oh, no. Isn't Bill more conflicted on Cade still? I feel like Russillo he voted Cade for Rookie of the Year, Russillo.
Oh, did he? That's so
Yeah.
funny. I knew Russillo was like big time a Cade guy. I think he sold Simmons on it. I remember them kind of creaming themselves over Cade recently. Simmons' guy is still Mobley, and I think he's like right on that. But like, I think he's high on Cade too. Like he said some things about Cade where I'm like, come on now.
Yeah. So he's not comparing him to Josh Richardson like he was when Cade was in college, which never made any sense to me.
So would you like to join me in locking Simmons and Russillo on the Detroit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that they're a young team. Dwayne Casey's going to have them competitive. Yeah.
And not to mention the line, I think, is a bit low to begin with, so I think that makes that easy for them.
I don't think it's impossible that the Pistons could make a move halfway through the season if they overperform. Like, if the Pistons are last year's Cavs, maybe not quite as good, but like if they're in that kind of realm of like they're fighting for a play-in spot, I wouldn't be surprised if they packaged some stuff together and got like another good veteran role player.
They're better than the Knicks.
I don't think they're gonna have a better record than the Knicks, but I would rather be the Pistons.
Interesting.
Yeah,
we agree about that. But they have money they can package. They have like Kelly Olynyk's expiring and like Marvin Bagley. Like they could like make a move. They're definitely a team that's available, and they've got a lot of other young guys. Like one of these young guys could pop. They got Jalen Duren, right? Like
they got Jalen Duren. They got Jaden Ivey. They got
Ivy too. They're over. I think unless something terrible happens.
I think they're going to win like 30 games. Now that I think about it,
Golden State. This might be one we might disagree on. This one, I'm taking the under.
So what's there?
52.5. Sorry, I probably should have said 52.5 for a Golden State team that won last year 50 games.
56.
53.
That's tough.
Considering locking this, to be honest.
Okay, that's your lock. Okay.
I might lock the Warriors under here.
So keep in mind, the only guys they really lost were Otto Porter and Gary Payton II.
Right.
They are replacing them
as 8 rotation guys. Yeah.
True, but also I think Moses Moody's going to take a step next year. I think he'll be a solid. I think he'll fill into like that Otto Porter-ish role. Defensively, they're going to be depending on Dante DiVincenzo to be Gary Payton, and he's not nearly as good in that role. I just don't think he will be. I think that he'll be fine because it's the Warriors and they always get away with this. I think Poole has some room to grow. I think Moody has some room to grow. I'm not as high on Kuminga, but he'll probably get more minutes this year.
I just think the West is better too.
The West is better, and I could see. Keep in mind, when Steph has a decent team around him and he's healthy, that's like 50 wins right there. Like that's how good Steph is still, even with his coming off the worst shooting year of his entire career last year.
I'm not disrespecting Steph. I'm just at a certain point, like we just talked about how Clay is kind of rinsed,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just believe a little less in Moses Moody, and like they're young guys. Like Moody is, I think, the best one, but like Wiseman is clearly like not an NBA player.
Well, I think Poole's the best one, but yeah, I would go Moody second. Yeah, but So, what do you think Russillo and Simmons think about this?
Simmons, I don't know. Boy, I don't know. I think they would probably hash out what we just talked about and do a regretful under, and Simmons would be like, Simmons is going to say something like, I hate going against Steph. Or if he takes the over, he will say, I just believe in Steph. It's going to be
But he loves their young guys. He loves Kuminga.
No, he does love. Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. He does,
which is such a perfect guy for Bill to love, because it's very reminiscent of. To me, I've said this forever. The Kuminga stuff is very reminiscent of the Aaron Gordon stuff. When remember the first 4 years of Aaron Gordon's career when everyone was like, he's going to be a star, and then I'm like, he's not very good at basketball though. Like that's
yeah. No, we need him to be a little better at basketball.
Athletically, yes, I see it. But I do not see what other people seem to see as like a star projection. I'm going to go once again. I think I might stay away from this if I were doing like a bet. But I'm going to go slight over on this one.
Okay. Over on this one.
I don't feel great about it though. Only reason I'm doing it is because I just think that like the Warriors always get away with this. Like when they're healthy, they just always get away with it.
What? Did I mess this up? Did you didn't lock the Detroit over, right?
No, I did not lock that.
I was gonna say I don't know.
When we get to the end, I might come back to it and have it be one of my locks.
I was gonna say we'll take a look at it as we go along if we find something juicier. I have 2 locks, you have 3, so we've got a little time. I think Bill and Russillo are going to be similarly conflicted. I'm going to go Simmons over, Russillo under, I think is where I'm going to shake out on this. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Should we just do I've been doing them separate for us, but should we just do the Simmons and Russillo things together from here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. It seems like we're in agreement pretty much every time on what Bill and Russillo are going to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Houston, 23.5. I think Bill is going to go slight under. I think Russillo might talk himself into the over here. I think I'm going to go under because I just think the truth is going to be they're trying to lose games. And while they do have some young talent, I just the rest of the West is so good, and I just don't think there's enough wins. 24 is a lot of wins for the Rockets.
I'm going to go over. I think
over. Okay.
I think that I still think they're going to stink. I think that they'll be a bad team, but I think they've moved past the point where like, wait, hold on. Is their pick top 4 protected next year? That's important to know.
Yeah.
Because, we need to know what the protections are in the Houston pick. Because if it's top 4 protected, then I think that they'll probably lean into the tank again for one more year. Yeah. I don't think Jalen Green's going to be super impactful when it comes to winning, but look, there's still a chance that he's like a really, really good player. Like, I think that there's a chance that he's like an all-star type guy.
So that pick doesn't convey until 2024. So
okay. So next year, they have their pick no matter what.
Yes. So far. Yep.
I don't know. I might go the under here too, like a slight under. I think there just has to be bad teams, and they might be one of the teams that's willing to lean into it. And I like a lot of their young talent, but it still is just young talent, and it like a lot of it doesn't make sense to me yet. Like I think they're going to figure themselves out over the next 2 years. I think in 2 or 3 years from now, they're going to be a really good team, though.
Yeah.
I also don't like Jabari, and I like Tari Eason, as everyone knows.
Yeah. Do you agree with me? The Simmons under. I think Simmons doesn't like the Rockets. I don't think he likes them. And I think
was him having Jalen Green on the podcast more influential in terms of liking? Like, could he be like, I like the way that guy has his mental makeup. I just like he just wants to win. He's a winner.
I think he'll be like, yeah, it's fine. I get it. Like, I think it's gonna be an I get it thing. Like, and I'm, I've had Jalen Green on the pod. I get it. He's gonna go places, but I just right now, and I love Alpern. I love Şengün. I'm the guy. House calls me Crab Şengün. That's gonna happen.
That was so good. Also, I just want to say he did have Jabari number 1 on his draft board.
Oh, I forgot about that too. That he's a Jabari guy.
I think he's gonna go over here. I think he's gonna go slight over. Although I could see him just being like, they're a bunch of me guys.
Yeah, I think that's what. Well, you know what he'll say too? He'll say they got Christian Wood out of there. I know he doesn't like Christian Wood.
True.
Because that's like Bill's so vibes based.
Yes.
We have Bill with a lot of overs right here.
Let's go under then.
Yeah, I was saying let's go under. Russillo, I'm less sure. I'm not.
I think Russillo will also go under.
Okay, yeah. Pacers 23.5. Love Tyrese Halliburton. I don't think there's a damn thing he can do about this. This is under. It's 24 is low. Like you've got to be. But I think the bad teams are going to be really bad this year. I think we're going back to polarization because there's more. I think there's going to be more good teams in the NBA, and there's going to be less freebies for the.
So the one thing I will say is Rick Carlisle's their coach. He's not going to be into tanking.
Well, but he's also kind of washed.
A little bit, but not like 23 wins is really low. And I don't love a lot of the talent on their team. I think that the real question for this, and it's funny because I feel like they're going to say the same thing on the Russillo and Simmons podcast, is Buddy Hield and Miles Turner on this team at the end of the year?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
100%. Like Miles Turner's been on the trade block since the Obama administration, so like it's hard to say whether he's actually going to be there, and like he's their second best player.
Here's another thing I almost want to lock is when they get to this and they're talking about the Miles Turner, Buddy Hield stuff. I almost want to lock Russillo, like alluding that he knows something.
Yes.
Look, they were close. I talked to some people, I heard some stuff, and they were close last deadline. I don't think these guys are still on the team. I just, from the conversations I've had, like, look, I've talked to some executives. I've talked to them about this, and yeah, he'll never like give you like exact information, but just
he doesn't even give you like a name. He'll just be like, I've talked to some guys in some front offices, and another lock here. Bill will bring up the Sabonis for Halliburton trade and say how he actually liked it for both sides, but he thinks that it's better for the Kings in the short term and worse for the Pacers because Halliburton's going to develop over the next few years. They're going to want to try to get another good guy with him.
He wanted to trade Marcus Smart for Sabonis at the trade deadline. I want to remind everyone of that.
He also wanted to trade Marcus Smart and a first-round pick for Tyreek Evans like 5 years ago.
Oh, believe me, that's the one I'm keeping in my – I keep that one up here at all times.
Did he ever want to trade Marcus Smart for Aaron Gordon?
No, he never got there. He's just like wanted Smart off the team like so much by claiming to love him. Like, and it's not been good.
I know we tried to trade CJ McCollum for Aaron Gordon like 40 times, and CJ brings it up when he comes on his podcast.
Right. So are you going over with the Pacers?
I'm going to say slight over. I feel like I keep going over, but I'll go
pretty balanced.
Okay, good.
We're both pretty balanced.
Okay, all right. I'll go slight over for the Pacers. I think they'll win like 25 games. It is hard to say. Like, I think they're going to be a bad team, but I like. If Bill's a Halliburton guy, I'm a Halliburton guy. Like, I think Halliburton's really fucking good, and I think that I don't know. I think that he'll will them to some wins, and I actually like Benedict Mathurin a little bit too. So I think that he'll have an impact from his rookie season. So, and if they don't trade half their team, then yeah, they'll be okay. 25 wins feels reasonable.
I like it when we disagree.
Liam said he teased Halliburton as a future All NBA guy. So
interesting. I don't All NBA. That's tough. I would say All Star for sure. I could see that. I don't know about All NBA. So what do we think with Russillo and Simmons of the Pacers?
I think
because of Halliburton, to be honest.
Yeah, probably Bill over because of Halliburton and Carlisle. Russillo under again. Are we doing too many Russillo unders?
No, we're good. I think Russillo will be over. I think he's a Halliburton guy too.
Okay, all right. Then everyone but you. What do you have wrong here?
Yeah, I have the under. I'm the only Pacers pessimist here. I and it's less about the Pacers and more about just like me taking the temperature of the league right now, and I think we're going to see a big change, and there's not going to be as much parity. Like there are going to be we're going to go back to having some really bad teams. I think
the Pacers should tank for one more year, to be honest. I think that they should take one swing at getting a guy in a loaded draft next year to pair with Halliburton and Mathurin and whoever they get back for Miles Turner.
I just think the East is better. Like, where are they getting? Like,
it's tough.
Detroit and Orlando aren't easy anymore, man. Like,
I do think that the top of the teams in the East are not really going to give that much of a shit about the regular season compared to the past. Like, I think Boston won't care as much. Milwaukee never really cares. Like, I think they will win games just because they're talented. I think the Sixers are deep and good, and we'll get to them. But, like, I could see all 4 or 5 teams at the top, except for the Cavs and maybe the Heat, like, not really giving a shit as much about the regular season wins.
Yeah. No, that's true. LA Clippers, 52.5. The Kawhi Leonard bet.
Basically. We got to talk about his knee.
Yeah. I mean.
Also the Paul George thing. He misses a lot of games, dude.
Yeah. I think Bill is going to go under. Bill's going to be dismissive in this one. Can I see it? I'd like to see the team. Everyone, everyone's going to give me shit for this, but what is it wrong of me to want to see these guys play basketball? They haven't played for 2 years.
That's exactly what he's going to say.
Yeah. Haven't played for 2 years. Like, Bill will be under. Russillo, I think, might take the over here. But, like, look, I mean, we're talking about guys, and I get what you're saying, Bill. I really do. But
100%.
Yeah. I think Russillo will be the over.
All right, let's look at their win-losses since Paul George and Kawhi Leonard got there. 49-23 in the shortened season, 47-25 in the shortened season, 42-40 in the full season without most of them. Like Paul George didn't play that much, and Kawhi Leonard missed the entire season. So this is 50.
I'm doing some math here real quick to get the shortened season.
Extrapolate it over the
55 wins equivalent in that shortened season pace. Almost 56. So
this really just comes down to Kawhi, like you said.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. I think it's a Kawhi. Like, do you think they'll be healthy? You know, because they do have a shitload of talent too.
Their depth is insane, and Ty Lue is one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Yeah. Now that we've talked it out, though, I forgot how deep they are. I'm actually going to go over. To be honest,
I'll go slide over too.
Yeah, I mean, I think
they'll be like a top 2 or 3 seed.
Yeah. We're here on another one of my locks, baby. We're talking about our LA Lakers.
Oh boy,
45.5. Oh, that's juicy, and you know I'm smashing that under, and I'm locking that in. That is it. That is easy money. That's a freebie. I don't care.
I'm taking the under there. That team sucks.
Yeah. Are you joining me on the lock, or are you going down?
I'm gonna be hesitant. I have one lock I know coming, and I only know it because I've heard on another podcast that it was like ridiculously low.
Okay. And you only have two. You only have 2 locks right now, right? I think you have Charlotte and Denver. Charlotte
and Denver are my locks. I think I might add Lakers or Nugget. Yeah. I had Nuggets. There was another, maybe Detroit. I'll go back and change that. But Lakers, what are Russillo and Simmons saying about this? Probably the same thing everyone's saying, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna be more respectful. I just don't think Anthony Davis is anywhere near as good anymore. Like, I don't think that's he's just got to get back to some stuff. I think he's just not as good anymore. Like, he can still be a good player, but I think he's done being a like top 10 all NBA type guy. So that's my own personal take. They're gonna dance around that a little bit more. They're gonna talk about the rest thing. Maybe they'll talk themselves into it. I think Simmons, much like me, will be too gleeful and will bring himself to an under.
Yes.
But we'll say, like, I hate betting against LeBron. I really do. Yeah.
But what are we going to get from Anthony Davis? Russell Westbrook? He doesn't want to be there.
He doesn't want to be there.
I don't know why he talks like Trump now in this.
We're both kind of doing a little bit of a Trump effete, like, affect. Very funny.
The Lakers are trading for Bojan Bogdanovic. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
He's a great guy. Yeah. Thoughts and prayers to Gordon Hayward. I've just heard about what happened to him. It's terrible. If I were there, I wouldn't. If I were Jay Crowder, I wouldn't have pushed him. But I wouldn't have pushed him. If I were Brad Stevens, I would say to him, you go make us a deal. Deal in the corner. He's got his child out there. He's a big guy. Don't see him. He's big. A big boy. Eat some hamburgers. Trump reacting to Deuce. Very fun.
Oh my God! Just showing him a video of Deuce like plodding around on the Celtics court.
It showed me this 5-year-old. He's huge, folks. He's a giant. He's a big boy. I thought he was a bear.
His dad. He's almost 7 foot.
That's a big guy. There's just a couple of big guys. God, I miss him every day. I miss him every day.
I wish they would just let him pretend like he's still president. Like, I don't want him to actually have any power or influence over anything, but just let Trump pretend like he's president still. Like, bring him back to Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is that with him coming back, I can vote for him a third time. You know? Parody, joke.
These are jokes.
I bust that joke out on dates, and let me tell you, sometimes it has not gone well. It has not gone well.
Yeah. You have to have a certain level of irony to understand that.
Yeah. I think Russillo will very painstakingly also take the under, but will like make a big show of it.
I think we'll all take the under on this one. And
yeah.
To me, it depends. It sounds like the Miles Turner Buddy Hield thing is not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not as crazy about getting Bojan Bogdanovic, even though I think he'll help them because they just need talent. But I think I'm going to be honest. I think that I'm also going to go under, and it might be one of my locks.
Yeah. And I gotta say, another crazy prediction here. I really think Russell Westbrook might finish the season with this team. I just don't. Who are they going to trade? I just don't think the trade's out there, man. Like,
I think the one trade that could happen, and I'm not saying specific team or whatever, but I think it's possible that a team just like has a really bad injury and they're like, we got to do what the Pacers did last year, or what the. There's always one or two teams that like we got to do a reset. Russ is expiring. We can get an asset out of it. We can send them some role players. Like, I don't know who that team is. Right. But there could be a team out there, Portland or something, that's like, look, we'll regroup around Dame, get an extra draft pick, like whatever it is.
Yeah. Grizzlies. I was looking forward to this one as the residents Grizzly player haters ball conductor. This will shock you. I have the Grizzlies under. This is a 48.5 line. The Grizzlies last year, I believe, were 56. Let me double check that. Yes, 56 and 26. So they will need to be eight losses low. That's quite a bit. That's actually a pretty good line from them because I feel like a lot of people will take the over here. As a hater, I'm taking the under. But
Sam Sheehan, I am so happy you said that. I need you to be low on my Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, okay, and let me be clear. This is a Memphis team. We don't know when Jaren Jackson Jr. is coming back, and like a lot of bad things can happen. I just know Ja Morant. He has it. I don't know what it is, but it. I love Zach. That is so funny, and he owns about Ja Morant. It's awesome. It's
so good.
Yeah,
he is a capital S superstar.
Yeah. God. I love that they just like talk about all these things about like how the Grizzlies were worse when Ja Morant played. And it's like, yeah, but the offense was better with him in the playoffs. So it's, obviously it's not something to worry about.
Doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Did we do this with Kyrie too?
Yeah. I think both Simmons and Russillo will take the over here. Simmons.
I think so too. Once again, I think this might be a stay away from me, even though I got to pick one.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that feels like perfectly normal and fine for where they're at. Like, but with the Jaren Jackson thing, I think I'm going to go under 2.
Yeah. Yeah. And just the West being better is my primary motivator. Again, that underlines a lot of my unders is I think the league is just going to be better this year. Somebody's going to get hurt, but like,
yeah,
it was just crazy how many like season ending injuries to really important guys there were,
Also, speaking of that Zach Lowe, Chris Vernon podcast, Keith, who works with Vernon, Keith from Fast Break Breakfast, who has been on the podcast before, he said he was like, I almost audibly, he tweeted this, that he was like, I almost spit out my drink or something like that when Vernon said John Conchar is a better shooter than DeAnthony Melton, because DeAnthony Melton is like a 40% 3-point shooter on like 8 threes per 100, and Conchar is not, he's not a good shooter. He's like a fine shooter.
He was deep in the copium. Like,
he was.
It was awesome. No, like they're not gonna be. What did he say? He said something about like replacing like he was trying to downplay the Kyle Anderson and Melton losses, and the guys that they had replacing them were very funny. Like David Roddy is gonna play, and I'm like, that is not the thing you think it is.
I love David Roddy and Jake LaRavia, but like they're rookies, like they're 20, like
another fun one. This is, by the way, I did this exercise by myself and tweeted it out. This is the only lock I got wrong last year because I have just powerful, deep hate seeing through my veins on this. The Miami Heat. I locked them at the under last year, and those motherfuckers still somehow won it because of fucking Max Strus.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I fucking hate them, man. Miami Heat 49.5. Honestly, probably exactly where it needs to be.
Feels about right.
Yeah,
have we considered the Kester Simon bump though?
The Kesters. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna have fuckers. I think this is a year they also might like package Hero and Robinson together to like get another get like a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like a real
like
guy.
If someone like once again, if there's like a team that blows it up and it's like, oh, we can go get like, but it's hard to figure out who that guy is. Like as much as we're not crazy about Tyler Hero, it seems like they still are pretty high on Tyler Hero.
Yeah, right.
And like I still think Tyler Hero has a path to being like a not as good CJ McCollum, maybe.
Yeah, I think his ceiling is still like Jordan Poole because I think people treat him like
the same age.
Well, I was going to say I think people treat him like he's Jordan Poole right now, and he's not. Like it seems like everyone kind of had collectively had their head up their ass about like what the season that Tyler Hero had last year. It wasn't good. I'm sorry, it like was not a good season.
He was fine. Yeah, I mean he's a good 6 man. I don't know.
Boy, I'm looking at my over-unders. I've got a pretty good split here. I almost just want to take the Haterade 49.5 because I think Lowry is going to get hurt again, and their depth is worse with PJ Tucker out.
I also think they're going to give less of a shit about the regular season this year.
Yeah. Just for context, last year they won 53 games. So
53 games, and I think they're going to give less of a shit because of Bam did get hurt last year, and so did Jimmy. But like I think they're going to be specifically focused on like we're ready for the playoffs this year. Jimmy is not going to have his fake knee injury. Hero's not going to have his fake knee injury.
Yeah. God, I'm such a hater. All of my locks are unders.
I mean, look, they lost a starter, and they are the Heat, so they always figure it out. But I think I'm going to go under too, but slight under once again. Like, I think that it's going to be right around that number, like 47, 48 wins. And, like, they'll still be, like, the 5 seed, and they'll still be, like, a pain in the ass to play because they fucking are basketball fascists, but...
Right, exactly. I think Bill and Russillo might join us on the under.
They might what?
I think Russillo and Bill will join us on the under here.
Okay.
Do you agree with that? I mean, I'm willing to hear it out. I don't feel particularly sure.
No, I think so. Although I think they'll say, like, you never know with Spo, though.
Right, yeah. No, there's going to be plenty of that shit. Like, Bill's hot take for this one. This might be that, Kyle, turn the TikTok camera on.
That's the new one.
Yeah. Are we sure Bam Adebayo was good? I watched that playoff series. He disappeared. I need guys I know that I can go to war with. You know, that be on the lookout for some Bam Adebayo. Bill might have turned on Bam Adebayo because he watched that series. So I would keep an eye out on that one.
That's definitely a good call. Definitely a good shout out right there.
Yeah. Milwaukee, 53.5. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone in my life who roots for the Milwaukee Bucks. Brings them up whenever I podcast with him.
Unfortunately, I've never hung out with someone who thinks that Chris Middleton is the 7th best player in the NBA.
He's such a pervert. What does he say? It's like the Bucks and Kenrich Williams are nihilists. Like,
he was Kuzma, Mo Bamba, basically anyone who's like fake good. He's like, give me that guy.
Yeah. I need him back on here. I'm going to hold him to account for the 5-team trade. He's going to go to prison for the 5-team trade.
We're sending Nihilist Bucks to The Hague.
He's going to be a cellmates with Sam Presti at The Hague. 53.5 for the Milwaukee. I like the over here. Giannis never gets hurt. I just think I know what you're saying about them coasting, and I know they lost. I think they were uncharacteristically bad last year. I think last year is kind of the worst season this Bucks team could have, and they were 51-30.
They still won 50 games last year. It does not feel like that.
Yeah, they won 51 games. The Celtics passed them to literally the last game of the season because they threw to get to Chicago.
Oh yeah,
which came as basketball gods don't do that.
The karma.
The Chris Middleton thing. I'm telling you, really, they don't like that. Ducking the nets like that. Long story short, I like the over here for Milwaukee. They've got to win 3 more games. I think they got that in them. They're the other apex predators besides the Celtics in the East, I think. Even if
I like those teams a little bit more for the playoffs than I do the regular season, just because I think if they know the stakes.
I just don't think Giannis is going to get hurt. Because, like, if Giannis doesn't get hurt.
Didn't they sit Giannis like 15, 20 games last year and like he was totally fine?
Yeah. Like, and I really don't think they're going to be as bad as last year. I'm going over. I could see someone taking the under, but I'm going to take the over here. I think they can get to 54.
Yeah. I mean, to me, they're pretty much the same team as last year, except they added Marjan Beauchamp. But like they're kind of, even when they're not overwhelmingly good in the regular season, they're still really good. Yeah. Giannis he missed like 15 games. He played 67. I'll go with the over as well. I think there's potential for a Giannis, like, I want to win another MVP season because I feel disrespected and it's been a while since I won one, and he might just go fucking ham.
Right. I think Bill is going to be effusive in his praise for the Bucks.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a Giannis jerk-off session with him and Russillo.
Yeah. Look, I love the Celtics, but if Chris Middleton doesn't get hurt,
did we overthink the MVP last year? Did we overthink it? There's going to be some shit like that, like kind of rightly so. I mean, Giannis has kind of proven he's that guy. Like,
he's the best two-way player by a pretty wide margin.
Yeah, like, and I mean, I got a lot of respect for him after what he did to the Celtics. I mean, it infuriates me because it's not basketball. Like, I become ball don't stop when the Celtics play. But
yes, same.
Like it's not basketball. They're playing caveman ball, but like I do,
can't even fucking shoot.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
no bag.
The brute ball is very annoying to play against, but.
Yes.
There's now enough distance between that. I can admit that I think Giannis is pretty clearly the best player in the NBA, for at least in my mind. But
yeah, I think he might be in a tier of his own, or he might get there.
Right. So next, another fun one. Parm, turn the camera off. 48.5.
Who is this?
This is Minnesota, 48.5.
I think that's an over. I think. Here's why. I think Rudy Gobert, regular season merchant, dude.
Yeah.
D'Lo, regular season merchant. Cat, regular season merchant.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win 50 games.
Because I want to see. Let me look at the Minnesota roster right now, because I want to see who they have left. Because they lost Malik Beasley. They lost Pat Beverly.
Mm-hmm. Really, the only one I care about who they lost is Patrick Beverly.
Yeah, but the shooting stuff is a little concerning to me. You know what I'm saying?
It is, but also Russell and Cat shoot a lot of threes.
Yes. Well, Russell does shoot a lot of threes, but do you want that?
He's not a bad three-point shooter. He shoots like 38% on like 6 or 7 threes a game.
So 34 last year. He
had a bad shooting year.
Yeah. So. I mean, yeah, I think those are probably, I don't have these numbers in front of me. It's probably on contested numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure that I'm sure those are harder shots. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's Isaac Okoro shooting 30%. Like, I'm sure those are tough shots. But, yeah, I'm having trouble finding the because I originally, when the Rudy Gobert trade happened, I was like, they're going to be the 4th best team in the West. And I'm considering walking that back now. Because,
no, I'm in on them as a top 4 seed in the regular season.
Yeah, the regular season. Yeah, see, I think this one's very hard for me.
I think they're going to be massive playoff frauds unless Anthony Edwards becomes like a top 15 player in the NBA. But I think that Cat and Gobert is like disaster potential, lose first round, be like the 3 seed and lose to the 6 seed type shit.
So let me run through this roster real quick. D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. Then there's Kyle Anderson, good.
Who's good, but he can't shoot. And that's another thing. Gobert.
Austin Rivers is on this team, which is funny. Naz Reid, Torian Prince, Eric Pascal is it on a 2-way.
Oh boy, he can still be a two-way. What is he, like 27?
Yeah, Nathan Knight. Like I said, Luke Garza, Jordan McLaughlin, Jalen Noel.
Jordan McLaughlin's okay.
Yeah, Wendell Moore Jr.
Yeah, their depth is not good. I'm not saying that they're deep.
I worry about that a little bit.
You think like one injury and they could be like lose like 15 of 20 games?
Kind of
maybe not that many, but
I guess we are talking about 49 wins though. But I just see the rest of the West is pretty good too.
Russillo, I love Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, no, they'll be over. I think they'll be over.
I'm going to go over too. I think they're going to win 50 games at least.
I will be the little different girl, and I will give Minnesota a slight.
Oh, Liam, good call out on here. Feeling Ant's gotten a little bit overrated take from Russillo here.
Oh,
just a little bit, like he's a little overrated.
No, Bill, how dare you? How dare you?
What he's doing athletically?
Yeah. How dare you?
I love that's one of my favorite Bill-isms, what he's doing athletically.
Another Trump thing. What he's doing, they're doing things athletically we've never seen.
Folks, it's been since 1985.
1985.
Michael Jordan.
Athletically, I was the #1 New York City private school baseball player. The Yankees came out to see me until he finished getting a blowjob under the bleachers. He told me, Donald, don't tell me you said it. And I said, Mickey, I won't tell anyone about you the bleachers blowjob. And he said, you want to play for the Yankees? And I said, no, I've got to make deals. You can't make deals with the Yankees. They make you cut your hair. You cut my hair. I belong in the suits in the state. Okay.
My favorite part about this podcast is that like 80% of it is serious and then 20% of it is just like the most nonsensical shit we've ever done.
Yeah. Well, I this is why I like coming on the pod, because I feel like we have great synergy. I feel like for being just the absolute nonsense, pinging from being very serious about basketball to a Trump riff for 5 minutes.
Yeah, like I'm really feeling a Jordan McLaughlin breakout season, and also I'm going to talk about fucking how I could have bagged Heidi Klum in the 90s.
Yeah, right. Okay, so this is another one I feel strongly about. I'm strongly considering a lock here. Actually, I think I'm going to put it down just for starters and then maybe change my mind later on. But New Orleans, 43.5.
That's really low.
That is low, right? And I think I'm locking the over.
So I think the question mark here is they're worried about Zion's health, and they're also worried about the defense, because defensively they're going to like Jonas Valanciunas is a decent drop coverage center. They really only have Alvarado and Herb Jones that are like good, legit defenders, unless Trey Murphy makes a leap. But like they do have 3 bad defenders in the starting lineup in CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and Zion. But it's not out of this world that like they could become like Brandon Ingram's big, and like Zion, at least in theory, could become a better defender. CJ is always going to be CJ, but
yeah. And I just think that matters, like, less for some of the other stuff. I mean, they score. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
I can't get out of my mind. I know that maybe the Suns were a little fraudulent last year, but I just can't get that playoff series out of my mind.
Well, Devin Booker didn't really play in that series too, to be fair.
They've got some guys, they've got, who's the, God, I'm blanking on it. The guy who was harassing Chris Paul the whole time.
Jose Alvarado.
Yeah, Jose Alvarado, who's,
pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah, and Herb Jones, top 100 player, Herb Jones. You should have
top 50 to Bill Simmons. Are you kidding me? The way he talks about Herb Jones, you would think that he's Draymond Green.
So, and for that reason, Bill will definitely be taking the over here. I believe Russillo will as well.
Everyone should take the over here. This is a very low line for them, yeah. I think they're a very good, young, talented team with some decent veteran leadership. Like, you got Nance coming off the bench. Like, I would smash. Like, that. Actually, that's going to be one of my locks. I think they're going to win at least 45, 46.
I think we're in agreement. We're both locking that.
Okay.
Orleans over. I think we're going to disagree here because we preface this. New York.
The Knicks.
30.5.
30?
8.5.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 30 and a half. I was like, wait, you don't think they're going to win 30 games? Like, all right,
I would honestly, I would consider the under if it was 30. I'm really out. I'm locking the under here. I really don't think this Knicks team is good.
I don't think this Knicks team is good. I think that Thibs is people get fucking sick of his shit eventually. I think that Jalen Brown.
Yeah, well, you want to talk about a team where things go wrong and people start getting traded? This is my number one candidate for that. Like,
definitely possible.
Yeah.
So I might shock you here. I know that they won 37 games last year, and it felt like a disaster year for them. Yeah. I think that their young guys are going to get a little bit better, but I still think that this is a very weird and balanced roster. I think Hartenstein, like you said before, like Hartenstein's really fucking good and he'll help them. Brunson's really good and he'll help them.
It's so annoying he's on the Knicks.
I know.
Why just wasting a good player? Like,
I know, it's very annoying. I'm actually going to go under here too. I think this team, I agree with you. I think they're going to win like 35, 36 games. I think that they could be on the disaster potential list. Like, I think they could fire Thibs. I think you're right with the fire sale stuff.
Right.
No, I'm with you. I think that everyone kind of has that feeling that like they needed a shakeup and they didn't shake it up enough. Like getting Brunson was good. They might have overpaid him. Getting Hartenstein was good. Like they made solid moves, but like the Julius Randle question mark is too big. I'm not an RJ Barrett guy, like as a number one, number two guy. I'm not out on this team. Like as like, I think that eventually they'll get to the point they'll probably hit on a draft pick if they ever make a fucking draft pick again, or they'll trade for a star. But for their short-term shit, I'm not high on this team at all. Like I said they were going to be better than the Pistons, but that doesn't mean I think they're going to be good.
Yeah. I think, boy, I don't know what Simmons we're gonna do here because they're both Barrett guys.
Is Bill a Barrett guy? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he is. He really likes Barrett. Like
he works really hard.
He gives a shit. No, that I think literally what he says about Barrett is he's a guy who gives a shit. I like that. You know, he showed me some stuff. And really what Bill is referencing is that they hit the thing. Actually, you know what? I think Bill is going to go over here. Russillo, I'm less sure about what he's going to do. Russillo might take the under. This might be one where they just disagree. One of their built-in.
Liam said Bill wanted to trade Smart and Rob for RJ. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm sure he did at some point. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, probably last year. Like
right before when he hit the shot to beat the Celtics.
Yeah, probably. Yes. No, there was so much doom and gloom. I can't tell you how good last season made me feel because I was going insane where I spent all the year before that saying like, this team is good. Like COVID just happened.
Yeah, I know. We were making fun of you. We were like, Sam's coping.
Yeah. And I was just like, I know this team is good. Like I feel insane. Like I watch this team every day. I look at these players. They're good. What the fuck is happening? And finally, it fucking Ime went Chad mode. The Virgin finally got the Virgin Brad Stevens. We held him to account. Oklahoma City, 23.5.
God, that's really low.
Really low. It's really low.
Okay, so how many games did they win last year? Now, we know they're going to lean into the tank, but, like, unless they hold out Shea the whole year, I don't see a way they lose that.
They won, so it's almost identical. They won 24 games last year.
I'm going over. I think that I like a few of their young guys. I think the West is better, but, like, that's really low.
That's really low, yeah.
I think they'll win, like, 26, 27 games or whatever.
Now I'm thinking my Pacers under because that was also 23.5, and I'm thinking about it again, and I'm like, it's really hard to not. Getting under 20 is really hard.
Yeah,
and
you got to be bad.
You got to be really bad. And yeah, this OKC team is too talented. I agree with you. Even if they're trying, like they've got some real guys. I think Simmons and Russillo are going to agree with us on this too.
Yep.
Okay. Finally. Oh no, one more. Shoot.
For the Sixers.
Yeah. No, we've got to do Orlando. We've got to get our Franz Suckfest off.
Oh, yeah. All right, what's their
27.5, which is crazy low to me. I'm taking the over here.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over. I think they win like 30 games.
Simmons also a Franz guy. Russillo a Paolo guy. I think they will be joining us on the over.
I think everyone's going to go over here. I think that they will exceed expectations from the books.
Okay, so I do want to be clear though. I've given Bill way too many overs, so I think
no, but Bill loves everyone. It doesn't matter.
7, 8, 9.
There's only like 4 teams he hates.
13, 14, 15. So Bill's already at 15 overs, and we've got like
6 teams left or something.
Got like 6 or 7 teams.
All
right, Trill, I'm going to run a clear out here for you. Philadelphia 76ers, 50.5.
They are going to, this is a lock for me.
Okay.
50.5?
50. 50.5.
This is this is one of my locks. The Sixers will win more than 50. They will win at least 51 games. Even if you hate the Sixers, Joel Embiid is one of the best regular season players in the NBA year in and year out when he's healthy. James Harden, even with his half a hamstring, was still a good regular season player team last year. Like,
can I counter with something real quick? The Sixers won 51 games last year
without Ben Simmons, with no depth, with Joel Embiid missing like 15 games in a row in the first half of the season.
Right, they do have Tucker now. Okay,
they have Melton, Tucker. If you take one of Melton, and I know I feel conflicted on the Montrez signing, he will be decent in the regular season for them.
Yeah.
If you take one of Melton, Tucker, or Montrez, he's immediately their best bench player last year. You could make the same argument for Daniel House. Like, this team 1 through 10 is like pretty good. Like, even Matisse Thybulle is a positive regular season player. Like, I don't understand how this is 50.5 unless like they really think Harden's going to suck or like completely fall off. And like, maybe they just think Embiid is not going to hold up. Like, that's the only way that I see that it's under.
The argument would be the East is much better this year, which is kind of the thing for everybody here. I'm just kind of giving you shit. I'm also taking the over here. But you know who I do not think will be taking the over is Bill Simmons. Bill's kind of working his way into.
Oh, I've heard it. He's like, maybe Embiid peaked.
Yeah. No, this is a Hardened thing for Bill. And Bill is going to be shitty to the Sixers in this. And Russillo might follow him. They're anti-Harden. And, you know, Bill's going to say something. PJ Tucker's 39. How old is PJ Tucker actually? Is he
37.
37. PJ Tucker's 37. Like, what?
I like the Melton pickup, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he will. He'll like to say that was fucking Daryl. That was such a good sneaky Daryl signing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Russillo will do here. I would be willing. I'm almost going to lock in Bill for the under on this.
All right, let's look at Doc Rivers. The least amount of games that Doc Rivers has won as a head coach in the last 10 years was the 2012 shortened season. He won 39. He has been over 500 every single year of his career since. 41 wins, 57 wins, 56 wins, 53 wins, 51 wins, 42, 48, and then in the shortened seasons, 49 in both. He's a good regular season coach still. And also the person who's saying Thybulle isn't a positive in the regular season, look up his net rating. We're always a positive when he's on the court.
So what I would just say, I want to know who's their lead assistant?
Sam Cassell.
Okay.
Or Sam Cassell or Dave Yeager, whatever.
Okay, so when Dave Yeager takes over the team,
yeah, like I think Doc could get fired, but it's probably after the season when we flame out in the playoffs.
Okay, all right. I think we've got. Boy, I don't know what to do with Russillo here. I'm just gonna leave it as an under, but he might go over. I don't feel strongly about that one. Actually, you know what? Russillo will go over. He'll look at that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be like, "What are we doing here?" Like,
right.
Like they had the number 1 offense in the NBA when they had Harden, which isn't even true. But like,
right. Yeah, it's a number 1 pick and roll. He'll bring up the Zach stat about them being the most pick and roll combo in the NBA. Suns 53.5. I gotta say I'm thinking under here.
They're definitely on the disaster potential rankings. They have to trade Jay Crowder, but they still won like over 60 games last year when no other team did. And Chris Paul still is a regular season beast. But if he ages out, that's the real concern. Is it he ages out, is Ayton unhappy?
How did they win 64 games? That's crazy.
I honestly forgot what I was talking about. I was like, teams don't win 60 games anymore. I'm like, oh, they won 64 games last year.
That's kind of insane. I mean, I know the West was bad, but like, that's kind of crazy considering what happened to them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I still think that I still think it's an over.
You're gonna go over. I'm sticking to my guns on the under. You can go over. I love it when we disagree. I don't. I could 54. I think is about right because I think it's going to be a much less fun season for them. I think Chris Paul is going to take a step back. But then again, like you said, are they 10 wins worse? 10 wins worse?
Yeah, like it would have to be. That would have to be like 47 wins for them is disaster potential.
Yeah,
which is funny.
Right. Which is that is very funny. I think Russillo is going to take the over. Chris Paul guy. I don't think it's lesson yet.
Remember how depressed he was when they lost that game 7?
So funny. I think Bill's going to take the under as well here. Boy, we haven't guessed any of Russillo's locks. I think we should. Well, we did for the Detroit part, but
we'll do it at the end. Let's do it at the end.
Yeah, we should probably just do Bills because I think Russillo's too hard to guess. Portland 39.5.
I like Portland's team more than I did when they had the CJ. Even though the regular season wise, CJ and Dame were always decent together.
It's a better team. I just think the West is too good. I'm gonna go under again. Yeah,
I feel like they almost have to be under, which is I actually think their team defense. It's the Dame plus defense thing. Although you have Simmons too. I'll take the under just because I feel like I keep taking overs. But I'll go under here.
You're pretty good. We're both pretty good. I think we're both in a pretty good realm here.
Okay, I'll go under just because I think that there's at least a slight chance that Dame takes a step back and they need Dame to be top 12 player good to get over 40 wins.
The Sacramento Kings. I was influenced by the Pelton and low pod on them. 33.5.
I'll go over. I hate their defense though.
Yeah, I do too. But I agree with you though. I just think that line's a little too low.
That's very low.
They do have talent,
Yeah.
I think Simmons is gonna lock the over here. To be honest.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna reverse. I'm gonna switch my Portland pick to over.
Okay.
And I'm gonna change my Kings pick to under.
Which pick to under?
My Kings pick. I think that the Kings are just. I think that they are just cursed, and maybe there's no basketball explanation to this.
Right.
It just feels right to me that the Kings make an all-in trade, draft the win now guy, get another guy in Kevin Huerter, and then they still miss the play-in. That just feels right in my soul. So I'm going to go with the vibes here and just say this is a disaster year for the Kings once again. And even though I like some of their young talent, I just think they're going to have the worst defense in the NBA. How can you have a good defense starting? Huerter isn't a horrible defender, but if he's Huerter, Fox.
Yeah, if Herter's your stopper, you're in trouble.
Davion Mitchell's their only legit positive defender in the rotation, and he's 6 foot tall.
Well, and Harrison Barnes, but
Harrison Barnes doesn't try on defense anymore. Every Kings fans told me for the last 2 years Harrison Barnes has been bad on defense.
Wow.
Maybe it's because they suck, but here's the thing about Harrison Barnes: good on-ball guy. He's not cleaning up the messes that De'Aaron Fox lets go by in the perimeter. Malik Monk, Sabonis on the back line. Holmes is an okay defender, but can get exposed. I'm taking the under. I think that they're good, and better than before, but I still feel like that defense is going to be really, really bad.
Okay. Yeah, they were 30-52 last year.
Look, I hope I'm wrong. I want the Kings fans to have something to live for.
Yeah, I just think Fox was kind of went on a tear after the bonus trade. He was 30 points per game or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel particularly strongly about it. I'm sticking with the over. I think Russillo is going to join you on the under though. And I think Bill is going to lock the over.
Yeah, I think so too, because Bill loves Sabonis.
Yeah. Sabonis and Fox are both like guys for him.
He might be kind of out on Fox if I remember.
Well, I think he's disappointed in Fox on stuff, but I think he's going to talk himself into it with Mike Brown being there.
Yeah, and Keegan Murray. He feels like a Keegan Murray guy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. San Antonio Spurs. So you're thinking under, right?
Whatever it is under. I don't care.
22.5.
It's under. I think they're going to be the worst team in the NBA, except for maybe the Jazz.
I'm going to join you, but man, that's fucking low.
That's low, but like
they have no players though.
Do they have any top 100 players?
Yeah, like Jakob Poeltl's the closest, and
that's it.
That's it. Yeah,
Jakob Poeltl's the only player that's in the top 100. They're tanking for Wemby. They're going to win like 19 games.
Well, I don't think
that's fine
either. I was just saying that, like that he's a player,
in the conversation, but they don't have any other players in the conversation for top 100 player left.
Yeah, like what? Keldon Johnson is like maybe
whatever.
Yeah, right. That's how I feel about it.
They're going to win like they're going to be the worst team in the NBA record wise, I think, and they're going to want to try to lean into the tank for Wemby, even though it's Pop's last year.
Yep. I think. That's under for everything. I'm all right. I think Bill and Russillo are joining us on the under there. Raptors 46.5.
Oh, I hate picking Raptors.
This is where I made my bones last year. This was my big lock because everyone was like really low on them last year. I was like, no, they're going to be good next year. And
they always are.
Yeah.
Like they're always like better than it seems. You're like the Raptors won 55 games.
Yeah. 46 is
low.
It's pretty low. So I'm going over.
I'm going to go over there as well.
Yeah. And I think Russillo and Simmons join us here.
Love Scotty. Love Pascal Pascal went from being like, we did a contract draft.
Yeah.
And he was one of the worst contracts in the NBA. And then he makes a bounce back and they got All-Star and Fred VanVleet. Yeah, I think that they're going to be over.
Yeah. Simmons might consider locking this one too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's made Pascal one of his guys again.
He is. He's back on.
Yeah. And I think he's a believer in Scotty too. So Bill needs one more lock, so I'm going to lock that one, and then we can kind of review. But I think that sounds right for Bill. You know, locking the Brooklyn under, the Detroit over.
Yes.
The Cleveland over, the Sacramento over, and the Raptors over. That just feels like Bill. You know,
love it.
Maybe he'll lock he might lock like the New Orleans over or something like that, like something weird.
I could see that.
I think, you know what? I actually think, because I did it, we did it too. I think Russillo might lock that. I'm going to just put that down because I think now that I'm thinking
that feels like very low for them.
Yeah, I think Russillo will lock that actually. But I feel pretty good about those Simmons locks. I think we'll at least get 3 of those. And then last and certainly least,
yes,
our Utah Jazz 25.5
under.
Yes, they're going to trade. I'm guessing they trade their good players.
Yes, Bojan will be gone. I think the only guys left will be Clarkson and Conley, and they'll tell Clarkson and Sexton to take 1,000 shots a game. And they're going to want to try to tank for Wemby as well. So I'm going under for them.
Okay. I think we've handled a lot of our business. I have my 5 locks. I have the Charlotte under. I have the Golden State under. I have the under. I'm Mr. Hater. I have the New Orleans over. I have the New York 4 under locks. Boy, I'm just a nasty little boy. And you have 4 so far, so you need to pick one more. But you have joined me on the Charlotte under. You have the Denver over. That's probably the New Orleans over, and you have your beautiful Philadelphia 76.
So I need one more lock. So I had the Pelicans, the Sixers, the Nuggets
over, and the Charlotte
the Hornet under.
Yeah. So Lakers, some ones that to consider. Lakers, I know was one you.
Lakers is my lock.
Yeah.
Okay. Lakers under.
Yeah.
That team stinks, and I think if LeBron misses any time, they're going to be fucking trash.
Horrible, terrible.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a beautiful board here. I really had a lot of fun listening to Bill and Russillo doing this year. I think this was a good idea.
This was a great idea because there are going to be some that age amazingly, and we'll get great content out of this. I'll be able to clip it. It's going to look great.
You're going to be able to go TikTok mode on some of these Simmons.
Recorded here.
That shit.
Love it.
That's 22 hours and 60 minutes.
That's literally the longest podcast I've ever done. All right, Sam.
All right. I know you're
Thanks.
go. All right.
Peace, dude.
It was fun, brother. I'll talk to you later.